All right, let's talk about TikTok. And no, this isn't about the latest dance challenge. We're going to pull back the curtain and really look at the stuff you're not supposed to see. Think of this as the user manual you were never given, but the one you really, really need.
So you probably think you know the app pretty well, right? You spend hours on it, you know your For You page inside and out. But what if I told you that you're only seeing the surface? That there's this entire secret language, a whole hidden rule book that's actually controlling what you see, what you're allowed to say, and maybe even how the app makes you feel.
Okay, so let's start right at the beginning. The second you open the app, you land on the For You page. And it's kind of creepy how good it is, right? It almost feels like it's reading your mind. But here's the thing. It is not magic. Not even close. It's a system, and it's designed with a very specific purpose in mind. Just think about this number for a second. 170 million. That's how many Americans are on TikTok. And here's the wild part. For every single one of those people, the For You page is totally, completely unique. It's a personalized universe built just for you, curated by an algorithm whose only job is to figure you out. And that's really the key to understanding everything else. The algorithm's one and only goal? To keep your eyes glued to the screen. It learns what you love, what you hate, what you share, what you skip. It even tracks that tiny little pause when you hesitate on a video. And because it's so intensely focused on keeping you engaged, it accidentally created a massive problem. How do you talk about anything sensitive? Well, you have to invent a whole new language. And this is where things get really fascinating. Creators and users, they figured out pretty quickly that if you talked about certain topics, your videos would just disappear. Or worse, your whole account could get suppressed. So to get around the bots, they had to start getting creative, really creative. And that creativity actually got a name, AlgoSpeak. It's basically a secret code. People invent new words and phrases for topics the platform's algorithms are trained to flag. It allows real, important conversations to happen, just flying under the radar. So why is this even necessary? Well, this quote right here explains it perfectly. TikTok uses AI to moderate content, and it is incredibly fast. We're talking about 120 million videos removed automatically in just 1 quarter. But they're bots. They have absolutely no ability to understand context or nuance or human intent. And this chart shows you exactly what that looks like in the wild. Unalive becomes a way to talk about suicide, which allows mental health communities to offer support without getting automatically flagged. But, and this is a huge but, it's a double-edged sword. The same exact tool is used by really harmful groups to hide what they're discussing, using awful code words like cheese pizza. It's this constant, high-stakes game of cat and mouse between the users and the code. Now, this pressure to perform for the algorithm, it doesn't just change the words people use, it changes, well, who people are on the app. TikTok basically becomes a stage, a place where people build these entire online personas that might have zero connection to reality. Some people even call it high-contrast hypocrisy. I mean, you know this person. Online, they're the raging debate lord. They're screaming into their phone. They're always right. They're dunking on everyone. They're fearless. But then they log off, and in their real life, they're a super quiet employee who is just trying to get through the day. That online warrior is just an act. Or how about the hyper-organized cleaning queen? You know, her videos of a perfectly spotless home are just so satisfying to watch. The reality, though, her own home is a total mess. All those perfect videos are shot on location at her clients' houses. And oh, you've definitely seen the finance bro. He's the guru telling you how to get rich quick with crypto and stocks from what looks like a super slick home office. The real story? He's completely broke, living with his parents, and filming in his brother's empty room. The whole thing is a performance, all for the views. This huge gap between the online show and offline reality, it points to a much deeper question. Why is there so much pressure to perform? Well, a major lawsuit filed against TikTok offers a possible and pretty troubling explanation. That the app isn't just engaging, it's designed to be addictive. The lawsuit points to features you'll recognize immediately. Autoplay and infinite scroll, right? There's never a natural stopping point. Push notifications pull you back in the second you try to leave. And maybe the biggest one of all, the unpredictable rush of likes and follows. Experts call this variable rewards, and it allegedly triggers the same psychological loop in your brain as a slot machine. And if you want to know how the company might view all this, just read this quote. It's allegedly from a ByteDance employee, and frankly, it's chilling. When internal concerns were raised that the app was addictive, this was supposedly the response. It just lays bare the massive conflict between our well-being and a business model that needs to keep us hooked.
And the alleged consequences of this are serious. The lawsuit connects this compulsive use to very real harms for young people. We're talking about anxiety, depression, sleep deprivation, and even finding it harder to solve problems. These are the hidden costs of the scroll.
So, after hearing all that, you might be wondering, what can you actually do? How do you navigate this incredibly complex world and protect your own peace of mind? Well, it turns out the power is still in your hands.
You know, it's worth taking a step back and remembering what these platforms were supposed to be for in the first place. The goal was to build community, to share experiences, not to create a battleground where everyone is just trying to be right instead of trying to understand each other. The first step might just be to remember there's a real person on the other side of that screen. So here's a simple mental health checklist you can use. First, just recognize the feeling. If the app is making you anxious or stressed, acknowledge it. Don't just scroll past it. Second, reach out. Talk to a friend or family member about it. Third, gain some perspective. Seriously, is any online drama worth your actual peace of mind? And finally, remember the most powerful tool you have. Just log off. It is always okay to disconnect.
And that brings us to one final really important question. It gets to the very heart of our digital lives. Think about the person you perform as online and the person you are when the screen goes dark. When you log off, are you leaving a warrior on the screen, or are you returning to a victim in your apartment? It's something we're thinking about,